Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about black wealth and black economics every single day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day under the B1 condition. B1 means black first. Black first means we put our community at the top of our priority list, and it also means that we build wealth for our children. So if you are in the B1 crew, put your B1 in the chat. Let me know that you're black first. And I want to say what's up to everybody. And I'm going to tell you the reason that I start off by telling everybody that we're B1 is because I want everybody to know that our number one goal on this platform is to strengthen the black community. We have nothing against any other community. We have nothing against any other group of people. We just love ourselves. And so if black love is okay with you, I believe that black love is the original love, then please put a B1 in the chat. Let me know that you agree. Shout out the city you're from. Let me know what city you're from. I want to say hi to everybody. I see Jackie, Tom, and Cynthia Haynes and D. Paul and Jermaine Trusty. Good to see you. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Let me know if you can hear me all right. I want to make sure I'm coming through okay. Also, don't forget this podcast is on Spotify. So let me jump into the topic today. So Dean out of Houston and Jackie out of Miami. I was reading an article today on CNBC about Joe Biden and student loans, and it turns out that Biden is working right now to make sure that or to try to follow through on his student loan commitment that he made during the election, during the 2020 elections. He basically made that promise, and that was what he hung a lot of his campaign on. And there was a lot of skepticism about his student loan commitment. There were a lot of people who said, oh, he didn't really mean it. He just said this in order to get black votes or to just get votes in general. And I don't know if that's the case. I think that he really thought that he was really going to be able to get the student loan stuff passed through. The problem with that, though, is that you can't do that without congressional approval. Congress, according to Nancy Pelosi anyway, Congress controls the power of the purse. And so that power of the purse means that Congress gets to decide if they're going to actually deliver student loan debt forgiveness or not. And let me tell you, student loan debt is out of control. It's a big mess. And the monthly payments are absolutely crazy. And the thing was, during the pandemic, I think you kind of got a false sense of reality. You got a false sense of reality because they not only were going to forgive student loans, but they actually had this forbearance thing going on for a very long time where nobody was able to, or nobody had to pay their student loans during that time. And it makes me sad because what's going to happen is that it's going to be a shock for a lot of people. It's going to be a shock for a lot of people's wallets because they have to start making those payments again. And what it could do is it could threaten the stability of the economy. There are people that believe that there are people out here that believe that the student loan issue is going to be one of the reasons that people end up basically having to cut back on their discretionary spending. Discretionary spending is one of the great drivers of the economy. And so that's been kind of a mess. So anyway, I'm going to look at this article that I have here. I had this article in front of me and I'm trying to dig it back up on my phone. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe if you have not done that yet. Here we go. Here's this isn't the one I wanted. Gosh dang it. Come on. Give me that article. Where you at? Because I wanted to look into what Biden was trying to do next. And so basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to find other ways to get around the whole student loan issue. And Biden claims that the Supreme Court misinterpreted the Constitution. And so he's working to find another solution. And so one of the things I want to kind of do is talk about the student loan thing in the sense that kind of allows you to really understand the nuances of it. And I know sometimes I come off like a complaining black man. I come off like a guy that's just kind of, mad all the time and running his mouth. But that's not really it. I'm really actually just a guy that really wants you to know the truth. So what I'm going to do is give you some truth about the student loan stuff. And let me know if you can still hear me okay. As I switch my camera angles, I don't want it to kind of kill the video. All right. So it says here on CNBC that Joe Biden says his administration will attempt to deliver a different student loan forgiveness program under the Higher Education Act, a 1965 law. Today's decision has one closed path, Biden said during a briefing Friday. Now we're going to pursue another. So it says here that Biden suggested on Friday that he was looking for another avenue. His administration will attempt to deliver a different loan forgiveness program under the Higher Education Act of 1965. The law allows the Secretary of Education to, quote, compromise, waive, or release any right, title, claim lien or demand, however required, including any entity or any right of redemption. The president didn't provide many details about how this new approach might work, but said it was legally sound. So it looks to me like they're still hanging on the student loan forgiveness thing. As I'm reading here, in the 6-3 decision, the court's conservative majority struck down Biden's plan to cancel up to $20,000 in student debt for tens of millions of Americans. The high court said the president didn't have the authority to instruct his education secretary to cancel such a large amount of consumer debt without authorization from Congress. Consumer advocates said the debt cancellation shouldn't die with the Supreme Court ruling. Quote, Biden must use another legal authority to deliver on his crucial obligation. He must do so without delay, said Astra Taylor, co-founder of the Debt Collective, a union of debtors. And so let me kind of break some of this down for you in terms of explaining why the student loan conversation kind of it tickles me, but it also kind of pisses me off a little bit. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the deal with the student loans. Look, Biden is the reason that your student loans are so high in the first place. Like you guys know this, right? You do know that if Biden wanted to fix the student loan problem, or if the jerks in Congress wanted to fix this issue, they could really actually do one simple thing. And that simple thing would be to change the law that Biden and Clinton pushed through back in, I think it was in the early 2000s, that said that because they were trying for it since the 90s, but they tried to push for this around the same time they pushed for Biden's mass incarceration laws that ended up incarcerating just hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of black men and women who were doing no worse than what his son Hunter is doing right now. They were doing nothing worse than what Hunter was doing right now. They were slanging some crack, maybe they were using some crack, and Biden wanted to send them to prison for the next 50 years or whatever. And so around that same time, they pushed another law that basically said, if you have student loan debt and you're not paying it back, you're a bum, you're a loser, you're not responsible, you're not a good person. So therefore, that means that you're going to end up having to be stuck with that debt. You're put in financial prison. They put people in financial prison because they would not allow you to simply declare bankruptcy on your student loans. So my argument's really simple. I think that if Biden wanted to fix this issue, all he'd have to do is push for the repeal of that law that says that you can't declare bankruptcy on your student loans. If they change that one law, if they change that one thing, then guess what? Everybody runs to bankruptcy court. Everybody with a bunch of debt that you want to get rid of, you declare bankruptcy. So, yeah, you're going to have bad credit for a while. It's going to be on your credit score. But student loans, because that is almost like a financial STD that everybody has, it's not really going to be held against you that much. Now it's so bad. The crisis is so bad that lenders don't even halfway pay attention to your student loan debt anymore when you try to apply to buy a house. They look at student loan debt like it's not even real. They ignore it because they say, yeah, everybody's got it. If we had rejected everyone who has student loan debt, then we wouldn't be able to sell any houses. So ultimately, this is the issue that you're dealing with. This is what you're faced with. And I think it's kind of disingenuous for them to create a problem and then act like they're the superhero who's going to solve it. If somebody puts roaches in your house and then calls himself the exterminator, on one hand, you say, well, I guess you understand how to exterminate the roaches because you put them here. Right. It's almost like those criminals who eventually work for the CIA or work for the cops. Yeah, you know a lot about being a criminal because that's your whole background. That's your whole history. But I'm not going to act like you're some sort of wonderful person or a hero because you helped me to unravel a fraction of the horrible things you did. Right. You got to understand this student loan crisis is terrible. It is the next big financial bubble. It's the next big thing that threatens the stability of the entire U.S. economy. It is a freaking mess. And Biden was the cause of a lot of this. So for him to come in and sort of campaign literally on fixing a problem that he created, I think that's a little bit of a weird thing. I think that's something that I don't think you should give all that credit for, like, oh, thank you. You're our hero. Because if it wasn't for your so-called hero, you wouldn't have this problem in the first place. Now, do me a favor. If you could, please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. I have to thank one of our Black-owned businesses that help sponsor this podcast. Dr. Quigless, Kirk Quigless, is a good brother. He's out of St. Louis. He's a dentist. that loves Black people, and he runs Dr. Hughes Fresh Breath Club. He says, take care of all your fresh breath needs with their all-natural at-home dental care subscriptions. From bamboo toothbrushes to mint and charcoal toothpaste tablets and charcoal teeth whitening strips, they have you covered. Sign up today at Dr. Hughes Fresh Breath Club for a standard adult subscription for just $12.50 a month. So for $12.50 a month, you're connected to this Black-owned business, and you can get a free gift in your initial subscription box. Also, he has this affiliate thing going on. I'm an affiliate with Dr. Q's Fresh Breath Club. I didn't put my affiliate link in there, but you can become an affiliate. So if you have friends that brush their teeth and don't want to have stinky breath, then you can you should send them to Dr. Q's Fresh Breath Club. Not only is he a great dentist, but he's a good guy and he loves Black people. He's going to be at the All Black National Convention this year, which, speaking of, by the way, is going to be in Atlanta on October 20th. So if you'd like to join us, just go to allblacknationalconvention.com. You can get a pass. You can be a vendor. You can be a sponsor. It's a great gathering. We have 45 experts in the Black community that are here to solve problems. So just go to allblacknationalconvention.com. And the other thing, too, is that for many of you that want to get access to stock tips and stock selections that I pick for you guys, or stocks that I like, that I'm invested in myself, just text the word stock to 31996. If you text stock to 31996, I'll right now send you a list of AI stocks that I love. 2, the next day I'll send you a copy of my $5 a day investing plan for free. 3, I will send you once a week a stock selection of a stock that I'm buying myself. I did that this morning. I texted it out to those in the on the stock club, on the Profit Alerts Club, and you can join that for free. So just text the word stock to 31996 if you have not done that yet. All right, so and I'll put that on the screen in case you didn't catch it the first time. It's stock to 31996. All right, so let's get back to Biden. Okay, so here I'm reading more in terms of the student loan thing. It says here in this article on CNBC that the president also said that his administration's new payment plan, which slashes monthly bills in half for many student loan borrowers, would be available before payments resume. Federal student loan payments have been on pause since March of 2020. So that's 3 years. I mean, that's crazy. 3 years of not having to pay the student loans. That's going to be a real issue. I worry about that because I don't know if anybody planned that in their budget to prepare for having to repay those student loans. So Scorpion says, calling the arsonist to put out the fire. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And then you're giving the arsonist the same credit that you give the firefighter. Yeah, think about that. Imagine if the arsonist set the fire and then you pay the arsonist to put the fire out. And then when you give credit to all the great firefighters in your community, people say, oh, well, let's not forget the arsonist. Let's not forget Smokey. Little Smokey, he set all the fires in the neighborhood, but he put them out. He put them halfway out. No, Little Smokey doesn't get any credit because Little Smokey is an ass. Little Smokey has destroyed the community. Little Smokey is not our friend. He's trying to redeem himself. So Little Smokey ain't the same as the firefighter, right? So that's the point. Joe Biden, he's not a student loan superhero. He's a student loan supervillain. Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have this problem in the first place. I'm not telling you not to vote for Biden. I don't do that. As you guys know, I don't tell you guys who to vote for and all this other stuff. I just tell you what I see. Okay. And by the way, I'm gonna put a Black-owned business up here that I want you guys to just have in your pocket. This is a company that's in Atlanta. If you happen to live in Atlanta, it's called Elevated Wellness. It's a Black-owned spa run by an awesome sister, and she does great work. I went there for a massage and everything else. And let me just tell you, if you want to have a really pleasant experience and you happen to be in Atlanta, her number is 404-936-5691. Tell her that I sent you. Tell her that Dr. Boyce sent you. And I promise that if you tell her that Dr. Boyce sent you, then she will she's going to give you the hookup. She's going to give you the hookup because she's my friend and I respect her. And Elevated Wellness is the name of her company. So let's support that Black-owned business. I just want to leave it up there because I've been meaning to share this sister's business for a minute. All right. So after student loan bills restart, there will also be a 12-month period during which borrowers won't face the harshest consequences of missing payments, including negative credit reports and collection activity. So effectively, they're trying to ease that pain. And I think that part of the reason they're doing it is not just because an election year is coming up, but also because they are looking to effectively minimize, I think, the long-term economic consequences or the broader consequences of some sort of economic slowdown that could result from the fact that they know they screwed up. They know that the economy is in jeopardy because once they turn on those student loan payments, a lot of people are going to cut their discretionary spending. When they cut their discretionary spending, you're going to see a disappearance of of some of these earnings numbers that corporations have, which is going to hurt the stock market. Now, mind you, don't be afraid though. I think the stock market for 2024 is going to be beautiful. The surprise of 2023 has been that the stock market has moved up so quickly. Nobody thought that that literally all the gains of 2024 would occur in the first half of the year. But that kind of makes sense in a sense, because the stock market is what they call a forward-looking indicator. Forward-looking indicator means that you look at that the stock market reacts to the future. It doesn't react to the present. Give me a yes if you follow what I'm saying with that. All right, so let me open up this. There's some more student loan conversations here, and I'll kind of give you kind of a brief overview in terms of what you might want to do or how you might want to respond to some of this. Let me tell you, let me ask you this. How many of you, give me a yes if you are a veteran of the student loan system. Give me a yes if you're one of the many, many millions of educated Black people who are cursed and plagued by student loans. If you're in that category, put a yes in the chat. All right, so all the student loan veterans, myself included, I put my name in there too because I'm a student loan veteran. I want to give you a little bit of hope and let you guys know what's really going on. Okay, so I've talked about how student loans are, and I discuss this a lot in my book. My new book is called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. And in my book, I talk about how student loans have really set Black wealth backward. That basically Black wealth is going to drop to zero. It's expected to drop to zero in the year 2053, excuse me. And the reason it's going to drop to zero is largely because of student loans. Because effectively, it's almost like if you think about every Black person, every wealth builder, almost like a car. We've got our fast cars and our slow cars. We've got people that are great wealth builders and those who are not as fast as the others, right? So basically, imagine if you're in a race and your fastest cars are the ones who are going to help you do better in the race because it's like a team sport. Well, imagine if they went to the fastest cars and they slashed the tires of the fastest cars. You know, imagine they went to the fastest cars and they put sugar in the gas tank. They did something to the engines, right? So your fastest cars are now moving slower than your slowest cars. So instead of your Ferraris being 100 miles ahead of everybody else, your Ferraris are moving slower than a person who's actually walking. This is what the student loan crisis has done. The student loan crisis, let me tell you, this is big. The student loan crisis has literally set a scenario. Pay attention. This is so crazy, where an overwhelming majority of Black college graduates are expected to die with a net worth that is lower than it was when they were a newborn baby. Did you hear what I just said? There are newborn babies being born this week right now who have a higher net worth than some Black college graduates who have spent their entire lives learning how to make money, allegedly, going to college, getting all the advanced degrees, working their butts off, working 40 hours a week, all this other stuff. So what I want you to understand is this is a problem. I mean, do you get what I'm saying? Do you understand how crazy that is? That there are newborn babies being born that have a higher net worth than a lot of our Black college graduates because the student loan debt is so high that it's killing every single move that they're making in order to accumulate assets. This is not sustainable. You can't live like this for very long. You can't let this continue to be your tradition. You can't let this be the thing you teach your children. You cannot put your children in that same economic sand trap, in that same economic prison that you were put in as a child. I understand why you did it. You did it because maybe your parents grew up in an era where there was affirmative action. Well, let me just tell you a little secret, Black people. There is no more affirmative action. You did it in an era where student loan debt didn't have to be that high for you to go to college. There was a time where students could actually work 2 jobs and pay their way through school. That can't happen anymore. Universities have jacked up the price of tuition because they see you as a mark. You are seen as a mark. Why are you a mark? Well, because they know that you're coming into college, even if you're poor, you're coming into college with deep pockets. Well, institutions that are trying to make money will sell their product to people that have deep pockets, and they'll jack up the price because they say, look, you can afford it. You're 18 years old. Stupid spending is the easiest spending. So what they do is they say, you're 18 and you're stupid. So here, sign this piece of paper and commit to paying us money for the rest of your life so that you can go to college and drink beer and go to frat parties. Give me a yes if you understand the hustle. It's a hustle. It's a scam. It's a game. They played you. They played us. They're continuing to do this. So what has to occur is that if you are Black, you've got to think outside that box. You've got to learn how to approach this in a way that is not going to put you in a situation where you're going to end up being broke and struggling and looking crazy. And you can't do that to your kids. This is a generational curse that we will not pass to our children. Give me a yes if you agree. Give me a yes if that's okay. Give me a yes if you understand where I'm coming from. Let me take one quick little break. and mention that this podcast is on Spotify. You're watching drboystv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. I'm also on the blackfinancialchannel.com. If you like daily financial stuff, just follow the Black Financial Channel on Instagram. Also, we have a Black Business School for children that's very good. We teach our children understand stock market investing, real estate investing, entrepreneurship, and crypto. We also have things like financial workbooks for children, all this stuff. So if you'd like to learn more about our digital program for children, you can go to blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. And also, if you'd like to take a look at our financial workbooks for kids, you can go to financialworkbooks.com. That's financialworkbooks.com. And also, I want to shout out one of the Black-owned vendors that is sponsoring this podcast. And then we'll get to the last point of this discussion. For Lifestyle Clothing. Let me tell you about For Lifestyle Clothing. This brother is it's a Black-owned business that delivers top quality clothing, offering a perfect fit and clean look. They're all about building business to pass to the next generation. Hence the name 4L, which stands for Live Life, Leave a Legacy. Check them out at 4lifestyleclothing.com. So make sure you go check it out. And actually, yeah. So anyway, that's it. That's For Lifestyle Clothing. So feel free to go check it out. And now my assistant is telling me that the URL should have 2 L's instead of 1. And I'm looking at the URL that's on my screen, Micah, and I don't see 2 L's. I just see 1 L for Lifestyle Clothing. So if it's wrong, I apologize. I'll come back and I'll fix it next time. But literally, it's the same URL that I'm looking at on my screen. So sometimes our team doesn't get everything perfect, but we're going to fix it. We're going to make it right. Right. If you'd like for me to shout your business out, just go to drboysfinance.com. That's drboysfinance.com. And tell Micah that I sent you, and she'll treat you very well. All right. So let's finish up with the student loan thing. Let me give you some advice, or not even advice. Let me give you, I don't want to call this financial advice because you're not supposed to really say that. But let me give you some game. Let me give you some information. Let me give you an approach that I believe is the best approach to deal with student loan debt, things like that, how to get out of that debt. A lot of people talk about getting out of debt as if it's a matter of simply cutting your spending. A lot of people talk about getting out of debt as something that you where you just look at your budget and you keep cutting your budget, blah, 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 blah. And then eventually you end up, after you keep cutting your budget, you cut. And then eventually after you've cut, you eventually somehow miraculously work your way out of debt. I don't believe that is what actually happens. I think that or at the very least, that's not the easiest way to get out of debt. The easiest way to get out of debt is, in my view, not just to try to spend less money. It is to actually try to make more money. I think that people who end up making more money should be the ones who are they're the ones who are in the position to deal with debt more effectively. So let me explain. The greatest skill that any Black person can have, in my view, is the ability to develop a side hustle. If you have a profitable side hustle, then what happens is that your income naturally increases. Also, you don't have to ask your boss for a raise. That side hustle might be tiny. It might only bring you in, $2,000 a month. But then what happens is that becomes $2,000 a month that can be applied directly to debt or directly to your savings or whatever. Or you can pay your bills with the $2,000 and enjoy your paycheck. Use your paycheck for whatever you want. So effectively, that side hustle, that ability to build a side hustle, maybe taking a class of entrepreneurship and really getting into a group of entrepreneurs. I think that's the best way to make money. Let me explain what I do with my girls. I get on a Zoom meeting every Sunday with my girls, and they're all grown now, and they've been in my life for over 20 years, and they're not my biological children, but I love them very much. And all we do is we get on Zoom and we talk about money and business. We talk about what everybody's trying to do, where everybody's trying to hustle. And what happens is you start feeding off each other's ideas. You share ideas, you share resources and things like that. And that ends up creating that opportunity for you to suddenly say, oh, Eureka. You're looking for your Eureka moment. That's the key with side hustles. You're looking for that Eureka moment, like, oh, here's something that I have that I can sell to the world. And so if you can come up with that little thing that makes you an extra $2K a month, maybe it's $1K a month, maybe you luck out. Maybe it becomes $50K a month. Then you quit your job, tell your boss to kiss your ass. That's doable. I've seen that happen all the time. It happens all the time. There is money out here, and most of the big money is not job money. Job money is SMALL money typically, because a job is typically not going to pay you enough to overcome this industrial amount of student loan debt that some of you have accumulated. I encourage you to look into ways to increase your income. You can do that with your family. Okay, guys. All right. So anyway, yeah, I looked up For Lifestyle Clothing. It turns out that their URL does have 2 L's in it. So I'm going to put it up here the right way, forlifestyleclothing.com. And it's 2 L's at the beginning. The URL that I saw in the note that I got from Micah, literally, I'm looking at it right now. It only had 1 L in it. And so, or maybe, but you know what? Maybe I'm just, damn. And I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at it very closely. Man. I'm going to go ahead and stick to this idea that one characteristic of being a real man is having the ability to admit when you're wrong. And so I'm going to apologize to For Lifestyle Clothing and also to Micah on my team, who's super loyal, super smart. I love working with her. I want to apologize. I was wrong. I was 100% wrong. And I like to think hopefully that makes me a better man. So I'm looking at it right now, and literally the 2 L's were always there. And here I was saying that it wasn't there and swearing that it wasn't there, and it's right there. It's funny. It's like that second L kind of sneaks up on you. But anyway, I want to apologize to Micah for getting that wrong. So if you mess up, that's a little cue, for brothers out here. Look, if you make a mistake, man, just admit it, just apologize and keep it moving. I think the world will forgive you. And instead of like letting your ego make you refuse to admit that you're wrong. So I was wrong. And so, yes, For Lifestyle Clothing has 2 L's instead of 1. So, and it's the number forlifestyleclothing.com. So feel free to go take a look at that Black-owned business. And also, last but not least, if you'd like to get stock tips or stock information sent to you and get Dr. Boy's profit alerts text to you for free, just text the word stock to 31996. Text stock to 31996. Well, thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me test out some of the new equipment. As you know, we've been, trying some fun different things here, like multiple cameras and all that stuff in our studio. And let me know what you think about it. Let me know in the comments what you think about different things. If you have any tips or recommendations on how we can make things better. Also, don't forget this podcast is on Spotify. So have a great day, everybody. God bless you. And I will see you soon. So take care. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.